Copenhagen is famous for two things. One is that it is tied with Prague for the most beautiful city in Europe. It is a lively and thriving metropolis which is at its very best in the summertime. People throng to the city and look for excuses to spend time there, just to soak up the summer sun in the parks, along canals of what is informally known as the capital of Scandinavia. The second reason why Copenhagen, Denmark is famous is because it was the home city of Søren Kierkegaard, the 19th century Danish philosopher who is, along with Nietzsche, known as one of the two great 19th century fathers of existential philosophy. About Kierkegaard's work, I can tell you this. Someone has described it this way. No one, not the most blasé intellectual, can even begin to understand what Kierkegaard was doing in his work without being profoundly influenced by him. Kierkegaard challenges his reader, almost taunts him, to avoid living as a fool and a coward. Strong words, but they're also delightful words that we'll find when we immerse ourselves in the text of Søren Kierkegaard. As professor in the philosophy department here at Colorado College for over 15 years, I'm also happy to introduce myself as the former president of the Søren Kierkegaard Society of North America. My name is Rick Anthony Furtak, and I will be teaching Kierkegaard in Copenhagen in the summer of 2021, a course originally intended for 2020, but which will have its first instance, its first episode in the summer of 21 instead. As for Copenhagen, getting back to where we will be, the question of where the course is located. During this COVID era, the best I can do is offer you some images. This is the bridge that leads across the water to Sweden, which wasn't even in existence 20 years ago. Here we have one of the more modern buildings of the city, which has an ancient medieval downtown shown at nighttime against the lights on the water. Water is a theme for those of us who spend time in Denmark. Here we see a path alongside the lakes, which were created to provide a kind of barrier against invasion of the city. And now they remain one of the wonderful places where you can walk, run, or ride bicycles. Copenhagen won first place as the most bicycle-friendly city in Europe, beating even Amsterdam. Here's another example of the type of street that you will find yourself walking as we explore Kierkegaard's writings with an emphasis on the way that they are written into and from the city. It's not just that Kierkegaard happens to have lived here. It's not only that this is his biographical location and that he wrote famous books. Rather, the city, its surroundings are inscribed into the writings. Even the most theoretical writings are filled with concrete references to his beloved Copenhagen. Here's another typical Copenhagen street. And I've got just one more photo that I'm showing you, which is a view that you might see if you go to one of the observatories in the city and look out as far as the eye can see. We see the canals, the water, we see the spires, the houses, the apartment buildings. Copenhagen, Denmark is my favorite city in the world, and it's the home of my most favorite author. And I don't know how I could better introduce both of these things to you than through my course, which is of interest to people who have studied philosophy already, but it requires no background whatsoever. It can serve as an introduction to philosophy as much as an introduction to Kierkegaard's thought. It's PH 203, Topics in Philosophy, Kierkegaard in Copenhagen, the birthplace of existential philosophy.